It's rising against all the walls we're built for falling. All the walls we're built just stand me. So try and live. It's a wall to hide the walls. And underneath those.
Oh man, I tell you, O Sleeper is just truly orgasmic. What's going on, everyone? My name is Billy No, bringing you Totally Taco Tuesday Time Together, episode 2. Whenever I say that, I imagine some like weird Japanese anime, and like you have all of the characters flying around and they like sound off Totally Taco Tuesday Time Together, and it's some weird like, yeah, I don't know. Okay, so anyway, the gameplay is Modern Warfare 2. I went back to it a little bit just to prepare for Modern Warfare 3, but this game's really rage-inducing and I kind of hate it. I really prefer Black Ops. I know I'm like the only one in the community who's like that, but you know what? This game is just, it's frustrating. Although it does have my favorite gun of all time, which is the aug-hbar. It's a freaking awesome gun. I really suggest that you try it out sometime if you're in the mood for something different. So, where we left off last time, I was really struggling trying to talk to girls. We had that whore bitch Rachel, and for the record, like, if any of my exes find these videos, that's gonna be a bad day, because they all know how to contact me and all, and they're just gonna be like, so, apparently I'm a whore bitch to you, and it's like, well, yeah, you kind of are. Sorry, whore bitch. But, oh boy, I was actually considering putting up pictures of the girls for you guys to look at, but I figured that would be a bit too far, and like, especially if they did find it, then I would have no way of claiming, oh no, that's not me, I am not Billy No. So, I'll only put up pictures of the ones who, like, I know would be okay with it, like my current girlfriend. Please?
Sure.
She said sure. Awesome. So anyway, one more thing about the gameplay. I do go on a nice streak early, but then it kind of sucks, but I just wanted it to have something to talk over. It doesn't really matter. So, moving right along, after the whole Rachel situation, I kind of started talking to a bunch of girls. Like, that was, I finally got over shit. It was like, at least I can talk to girls now. So I started talking to girls, and unfortunately, I was really bad at it. So, I was still doing the same kind of things that I was with Rachel. Fortunately, I never told anyone else that I loved them, so I did learn from my mistakes. I wasn't totally stupid about it. But I still I was awkward. I didn't really know how to act and all that kind of stuff. So I kind of floundered around until the summer of my junior year. And that was when I met an interesting girl by the name of Casey. Now, Casey is going to be a reoccurring theme in this series. She was... Shut up, Haley. Haley doesn't like her, because, yeah. But, Casey was like the first girl who ever really gave me a chance or anything, and she was the first girl I was really totally myself with. And, yeah, we had a bunch of inside jokes and all that good stuff. So we were talking over the summer, and she was also talking to a few other guys, which is also a recurring theme with Casey. She was talking to this dude, Keegan, who, like, to this day, I have a little bit of resentment towards him, because while Casey was talking to me, she was also, like, making out with this dude, and they were pretty much dating. I didn't really know about all that until afterwards, though. But I mean, we weren't dating, so I didn't have any reason to be mad or anything. So after a while, eventually, I don't really remember what happened the first time with Casey. Like, things just kind of fell apart. It just didn't really work out or something. I guess I might have just eventually given up knowing that this Keegan dude won. But, I said, well, it was fair, and you know what? I had finally held hands with a girl at that point, which was like, oh my god. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, I had held hands with a girl, holy shit. Maybe some of you who were, like, 15 or 16 or whatever, like, if you've had your first girlfriend or whatever, the first time you hold hands with someone, it's pretty special. I mean, not to sound like a total fruitcase, but it's a cool thing. So, moving right along, we go over to like the beginning of junior year. Now, at this time, I was going through a huge change in my life. I'm not I'm not going to talk about it right now because it's this is all about girls, and this although it has a huge effect on my relationships with girls, for a while it was like it's a really personal matter, which I'll probably eventually, but at this is not the time. And I want this series to be like a happy, funny kind of thing. And if I told you about this whole situation, like this side situation, it would really detract from that. It would just like sap the life out of this series. So I'm just going to avoid that altogether. But around this time, I turned into a scene kid. If you know what that is, you're just like face palming right now. Basically, I started listening to hardcore, which I was always into because I play guitar, and hardcore music has like the best guitarists. Because like contemporary music has shitty guitar, it's terrible. But anyway, so I was listening to hardcore, and I ended up getting into the local scene, which basically meant I wore tight pants, I ran around calling myself straight edge, and even though really, like, straight edge also means no sex, it's no alcohol, no drugs, none of that crap, and no sex. But, I mean, let's be honest, if some girl wanted my dick, I'd be like, hell yeah, put it right in your vagina. And, I'd be like, fuck straight edge, it's stupid. But anyway, so also around this time, I had these friends, Joel and Tess, and they were, I don't know, it was a weird situation with them because I was the third wheel with them all the time, and they would always make me, like, drive them around and shit, and, like, I would drive them to each other's houses so that they could fuck, and I would just be downstairs watching TV, so it was just, like, totally fucking lame. But, the nice thing was they knew a lot of girls, and I was like, alright, hook me up, bruh. So eventually they did. As a joke, they hooked me up with this one girl, and I'm gonna say her name, and you guys are just gonna facepalm again, and you're just gonna be like, what the fuck were you thinking, Billy No? What are you doing?
Oh god.
This girl's name is Labranda. Oh yes, my first girlfriend's name was Labranda. Now, so you may be surprised, but she was actually white. She was totally like trailer trash, but she was white. um, but we were at a campfire, so I couldn't really tell what she looked like. I could just see that she was skinny and mildly attractive. So, and she had a pretty nice body, but later when I hung out with her, I figured out that she was kind of the definition of a butterface. I hate to be mean like that, but considering how this relationship went, I don't really give a shit. So, eventually, okay, basically we start talking and all. We're hanging out around this campfire and all, and I'm like, you know what, this could work. This could really work. So I end up getting her number. We start talking for about a week, and I ask her out. And, fortunately I didn't do anything creepy this time or anything like that. But she said, she didn't quite know me well enough. She just wanted to get to know me a little better. So, what happened was she said, give me a week to think about it. So during that week, we started talking on the phone more and chatting a bit more. And at the end of the week, she said yes. And I was just like, holy shit, first girlfriend, yes. I didn't give a shit. Like, she was weird. She was, I don't know. Like, there were a lot of things that should have been like warning flags, but I never really took the signs. But anyway, so yeah, I was like, yes, first girlfriend. But that day, apparently, okay, I know I did this. I was just making a joke. She was talking about, like, her cousin who went to jail for biting her mom or something. And I was just like, oh, white trash. But I was just totally kidding. But she didn't take it that way. She was pissed. And understandably so. That was a big mistake. I thought I was joking, but it wasn't okay. But, she let it go. She forgave me. And later that night, I got my first kiss, which was actually, it was pretty cool. We were at her high school's football game, and it started, like, raining and stuff, and she pulls me aside, she goes, come here, you, and then there it was. And shit, this gameplay is about to end, so I will be right back. Let me just put up a black screen. Okay, and we're back. I actually lied. I put up a Super Smash Bros. Gameplay, but that's all good. So anyway, yeah, so what happened next was, like, we hung out the next day, and I just had no idea what to do. This was my first girlfriend. I didn't know how I was supposed to act, so I was just really awkward and weird. And apparently that, like, just pissed her off. She was so upset because I didn't know how to act, and I was like, well, that's not really my fault. I just don't know what to do. So eventually, we start, the night starts winding down, and it was me and, like, a bunch of my friends and her friends over at her house, and eventually I go over, and like, one of her friends is, like, coaching me, and she goes, Chris, just go over and kiss her. That's all she wants. Just go do it. And I was like, okay. So I did, and that made it all better. So eventually we go to leave, and apparently this is where there's a lot of discrepancy, because she says that when I was leaving, I just called her a total bitch for no reason. And you guys know me, I'm not that kind of guy. Okay, so you don't know me, and from what you can tell, I probably am that kind of guy. But a lot of people can vouch for me that I am not that kind of guy. I don't roll like that. I'm very respectful. Kinda. But I wouldn't just call someone a total bitch like that, especially my new girlfriend. I think that what happened was I was making a joke and she didn't realize it, but I was, like, talking about my friend and not her. But anyway, what happened was she just straight up ignored me for a week. She didn't answer my texts or my calls or anything, and it was just totally ridiculous. I didn't know what I was doing or anything. So by the end of the week, I finally convinced one of her friends to convince her to come talk to me, and she does. So we call and all, and I was just totally upset. This was my first girlfriend, and I was totally fucking it up. But, she decides, okay, I'll give you another chance, even though I still maintain that I did nothing wrong, but at this point, I just let it go. I'm like, fuck it don't matter. But then she tells me that at the football game the next day, she was going to be doing Oxycontin. Like, yeah, legit. She's never... According to her, she's never done drugs before, but she's just like, oh yeah, me and my friends got some Oxycontin that we're going to be doing, so you'll have to be dealing with that. I was like, okay. So that should have been when I was just like, nah, I'm good. GG everyone, we had a nice run. But instead, what I decided to do was, I went to the game, and I told, that whore bitch Rachel, and she was just like, oh wow, and she ended up telling a bunch of people, and Labranda, she got a mob together to beat the shit out of me. Not even joking. She got a bunch of people together, and they were, like, threatening me. So, I found a few of my friends at the school, and they all, like, escorted me out of the premises. So, that was my first experience with girls. Needless to say, not a very good one. But anyway, fortunately, later in life, things did get better. So, the commentary is wrapping up now. So, like and subscribe. Okay, I love you. Bye-bye!